Well, hello everyone. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Welcome to another episode of my podcast where I have the opportunity to help you to improve your English vocabulary, comprehension, and fluency. I will be speaking just a little bit slower so you can follow along on the screen as I have the words that you can read along with me. Okay? So, today I want to talk to you about school and learning. How many of you have been to school and either you loved it or you hated it? There were different parts of school that I really enjoyed, and there were some that I really disliked. But all in all, school served a purpose for me, and I am appreciative of the experience that I had. So I am going to teach you 3 words today on today's episode, and I want to test your knowledge and give you some questions leading up to me teaching you these 3 words to see if you can tell what they are. What is the thing that every student dreads on Friday and forgets to do until Sunday night? That's going to be our first word. The second word. This is the event where you listen for an hour while secretly playing on your phone during class. That's the second word. And the third word I'm going to teach you, let's see if you can figure it out. This is the secret menu that every teacher tells you that you are going to learn throughout the year. What is that called? So let's dive into today's lesson. The first word, the thing that every student dreads on Friday and forgets to do until Sunday evening, at least most students. Some of you may have said homework, but the word I want to teach you is assignment. Okay, an assignment is work a teacher gives students, a project or a task that is done in class. Like I said, homework is synonymous with it, and an assignment can also be something simple that the teacher requires or asks you to do. Other words that are synonymous with assignment are project or task. Now, I don't want you to get the word assignment confused with such words as agreement. Okay, now agreement is a deal. An assessment, okay, an assessment is a test or an appointment, a meeting. It's totally different from assignment. So let's use assignment in a sentence. Sarah finished her assignment before dinner. Or you might say the math assignment was difficult but fun. I used to give assignments here on my channel and homework to those who watched. Because doing assignments helps you to understand and learn. Did you know that Mark Zuckerberg once skipped a class assignment to work on Facebook? Don't we usually find something more important than our assignments that we get at school? Fortunately, his working on Facebook changed probably everyone's life on the planet, because Facebook, who doesn't know about Facebook? who doesn't use Facebook. Speaking of Facebook, if you use Facebook, let me know down in the comments section. I'm thinking about starting a Facebook group for some of my subscribers and students where we can engage. If you use Facebook, let me know. Or WhatsApp or Discord, just trying to get a feel for what you guys use. Also, while you're down in the comments, you can go to the description and you can get links to some of my other lessons that I have. I have reading shadowing, I have stories, I have other things that can help you to improve your English. Let me read a quick story to help you better understand the word assignment. Emma's teacher gave the class an assignment. Write about your weekend. While most students wrote about movies and shopping, Emma wrote, "I built a rocket ship in my garage." The teacher laughed and asked, "Really?" Emma smiled and said, "Not yet, but I want to." The whole class cheered. The simple assignment helped Emma discover her love for science. Years later, she became an engineer. Sometimes assignments feel small, but they can spark big dreams. Speaking of rocket ships, I don't know if you guys have been watching and reading in the news. They're talking about UFOs and aliens coming to the planet Earth later this year. Oh boy. Okay, so the second word I want to teach you. Do you remember the question from the start? What is the event where you listen for an hour while secretly playing on your phone during class? Okay, that word would be lecture. Lecture. A long talk by a teacher. It's a lesson given to many students at once. So the teacher would stand in front of the class and talk about a subject for probably 45 minutes to an hour. Lecturing is a way to share knowledge, experiences, and give inputs about your opinions and your thoughts. Okay, a lecture is also a serious classroom talk. Some teachers use lectures to find out or discover what their students comprehend, understand, or think about a subject. At most schools, especially universities, they may have a lecture hall where the teacher stands at the podium and speaks to everyone. And usually when there's a lecture, students must take notes. So some example sentences. The professor gave a lecture about world history. My world history class was very boring in high school because it was led by my basketball coach and he was boring. Sometimes lectures are exciting, but mine was boring. Students usually take notes during lectures. Only thing I disliked about school is when the professor or teacher would give a lecture, but then the test would be from the book. Or they would read from the book and teach us book knowledge, but then the test would come from the lecture. It was very, very confusing. Let's read a quick story to help you better understand the word lecture. Carlos sat in the back row of his first university lecture. The hall was huge, and the professor spoke about biology. At first, Carlos felt lost, but then the professor told a story about frogs that could freeze in winter and come back to life in spring. The story made everyone laugh and lean in closer. Carlos realized lectures weren't just about facts. They were about stories that made learning exciting. By the end, he filled his notebook with notes and sketches. See, that's a fun class. That sounds interesting. I have had some boring teachers over the years, and that's why I try to make learning fun here on my channel. Even though I do talk for a good period of time, I try to have learning and laughter, okay? So, the last word I want to teach you about today, do you remember the question I asked? This is a secret menu of what the teacher gives that you will be learning throughout the year. Curriculum. Now, usually a curriculum is listed on a sheet of paper, and a more familiar term is a syllabus. That's what I grew up learning about. We would say, where's the syllabus for the semester? Okay? A curriculum or syllabus is the list of subjects that you will learn and study in school. It's a plan for learning in a semester, a quarter, or a year. It's the program that the teacher will follow. And as I said in the question, some people describe it as a menu. Okay? Remember, a program, a course guide, or a syllabus. So you might say, as an example, the school curriculum includes math, science, and art. Another sentence, different countries have different learning curriculums. A balanced curriculum teaches many skills. You know, I do wish schools had more curriculums that involve skills or life skills, things that you can do to improve other people's life instead of just learning about history, how to cook, how to clean, how to work on a car, how to paint, how to do your taxes. I wish curriculums from elementary to high school to college would have much better curriculums, especially here in the United States. I saw a video on social media about the curriculum in other countries and how they teach children in kindergarten how to cook, how to clean. That's a great curriculum because those are life skills. I don't need to know about, in my opinion, everything that took place in history. How is a person going to use that and apply that in their everyday life? That's just my opinion. Let's read a story and then we'll wrap it up for today's episode. Aisha started a new school after moving to another country. On the first day, her teacher showed her the curriculum. It included robotics, art, and even cooking. Alicia was surprised. Her old school only focused on math and reading. Over time, she discovered she loved robotics and joined a club. By the end of the year, she built a small robot that could draw pictures. She realized that the curriculum was more than a plan. It was a chance to explore new passions. So today we have learned 3 words about learning in school: assignment, lecture, and curriculum. I want you to remember that assignments are the small jobs or tasks that you receive in order to help you learn while you're in school. Lectures are talks that share knowledge and stories. And curriculums are maps, guides, and or a menu of what you will be educated about in the classroom. Life definitely has a lot of learning lessons, just like school. So you want to make sure that you're prepared and you study so you can advance and help someone else. Well, I hope you have enjoyed today's podcast episode. If you have, I hope that you would consider sharing today's episode with a friend. Be sure to check out the links down in the description of today's episode, and I hope you join me on my next English lesson. I'll see you then.